In the news tonight, a police crackdown on illegal bikes reaping results. Relief for PSV operators as delays at licensing authority ease. A flu surge in Europe sparks a call for COVID-style precautions in Barbados. And in sports, New Zealand claimed first-day honours in the second test against the West Indies.
The headline news is brought to you by National Transformation Initiative, shaping the Starbajan.
Broadcasting from our studios in the Pine St. Michael, this is CBC NewsNight, starting now.
Good evening, I'm Lisa Broom. Thank you so much for tuning in. In our top story tonight, scores of illegal motorcycles have been taken off the streets by police as part of their ongoing Operation Road Assurance. Lawmen reported the success of the operation, first launched in 2023 and restarted in September this year, at a press conference today. Deanza Roberts was there.
The row of illegal bikes on Barbados' roads has long been a concern. But Superintendent Wayne Archer, attached to the Barbados Police Service's Special Operations Management Service Division, says police have been tightening their grip.
As of September, we've rekindled this effort. We recognize that once again there is the presence of these motorcycles and ATVs on the streets. And our efforts being redoubled will see that we are again putting the Operation Road Assurance in place to target this activity on specific days and specific periods based on intelligence that may come to hand.
Superintendent Archer said several bikes have been picked up during the operation so far.
So far for the year, we've seized 69 motorcycles. A number is on the yard over by the District Compound Traffic Office to be displayed so you guys can see it. We've also perhaps returned some of these motorcycles to the owners once the owner comes forward and we can prove that the motorcycle is legally on the road. The motorcycle is returned, but a large quantity of these motorcycles are still at the District A complex.
Meanwhile, police are also in the midst of a separate operation dubbed Broken Trident, going after bikes being used in criminal activities.
The Broken Trident operation, which is currently ongoing, is looking at the criminal activity, looking at those hotspot areas, looking at perhaps the use of motorcycles on the roadways to commit crime. The crime of concern obviously is the firearm incidents and shootings. So there, in general, in a more tactical way, is going after those persons who may be riding motorcycles for the purpose of committing crime.
The senior officer said the effort aims to rid the streets of hazards and restore a sense of safety and order for the public.
We will continue to use all means available to us, including technology, to combat this lawlessness. But we also want to appeal to the general public to provide us with that information that will allow us perhaps to have a more sustainable and successful operational effort.
As the Barbados Police Service continue the road assurance operations, ensure that your licenses are paid and your vehicles are insured. From District A Police Station, Deanza Roberts, CBC News.
Meanwhile, police today rolled out measures to deal with increased traffic this Christmas season. Superintendent Wayne Archer said bike cops are being deployed on the main roads leading into Bridgetown.
So cyclists will patrol those routes into Bridgetown, and in Bridgetown itself, we will have a number of persons on foot patrol to support the effort of the traffic wardens currently. We believe that the congestion in Bridgetown is caused by persons who are illegally parked. So we are trying to have the appropriate discussions so that we can get out, look at the roadways within Bridgetown, determine where we can facilitate parking, where we want to avoid parking, and by all means put in place the appropriate signage and markings to facilitate a free flow of traffic through Bridgetown during this period.
The traffic management operation will continue until January 15th next year. Relief tonight for public service vehicle operators who've been waiting long periods to get inspection results from the Barbados Licensing Authority. Chief Licensing Officer Chika McCarthy-Brooms says between late last week and today, more than 400 PSV operators received their inspection certificates. Mrs. McCarthy-Brooms says the improvement comes as the BLA continues to iron out problems with its new computer system, which led to weeks of frustration and a flood of complaints from the Alliance Owners of Public Transport. She provided the update during a press conference this afternoon.
We have resolved a lot of issues. We had some issues initially with the system, the new system, especially with training, is new to both Licensing Authority and Revenue Authority. And we are very grateful that with the patience and understanding, and we came to a resolution that no more PSV operators will be receiving their inspection certificates at a faster pace so that they can be on the road for this Christmas season.
Chairman of the Alliance Owners of Public Transport, Roy Raphael, says some operators were forced to wait up to 6 weeks for results before they could pay for their permits and insurance, and that delay severely affected operators' overall bottom line.
We still have a number of persons who are still waiting for their permit from the PLA, right, and the PRA to go forward, but those persons does not have a direct effect because they would have gone in within the last 2 to 3 weeks. So we're generally satisfied. We will continue to work with the licensing authority to have these matters addressed. What we said to the department is dialogue is very important, right? Come to us, let us know what is happening so that we, in terms to tell our constituents, our members, let them know what is happening as well.
Barbadians are being urged tonight to take steps to guard against the contagious flu virus. Health officials across Europe are battling an unusually early and aggressive flu strain, and President of the Barbados Association of Medical Practitioners, Dr. Linda Williams, has put locals on alert. Dr. Williams tells CBC News the warning should be taken seriously, especially with flu cases surging in major tourist-sourced markets like the United Kingdom. Some hospitals overseas are so overwhelmed they've reinstated face mask requirements. And Dr. Williams says the same protective measures used during the COVID-19 pandemic should be used now.
We have promoted a slew of public health measures all the way through COVID of, hand sanitizing and wearing masks when you're in spaces with lots of people, and also maintaining your general health. So if you are diabetic, make sure that your blood sugar is controlled. Hypertensive, make sure your blood pressure is controlled, because as we know, those with comorbidities are more likely to have severe cases. But having said that, I want to commend Barbadians who I already see in public spaces wearing masks. I already see hand sanitizer being sold more frequently. And so these public health measures are here to stay.
Dr. Williams also advises that sick people should remain at home.
If your child is sick and you know your child is now coming down, flu symptoms and fever, etc., don't send that child to school to spread it among all of the other classmates, and then they take it to their homes where they may be vulnerable people.
Coming up after the break, Carrie Ann Eiffel takes office as Barbados' first Human Rights Commissioner. We'll tell you what she's been tasked to do when we return. Former President of the Senate, the Most Honorable Carrie Ann Eiffel, has been appointed Barbados' first ever Human Rights Commissioner. Her appointment took effect December 1st and will remain contractual until it is fully formalized in law within the next year. Commissioner Eiffel met briefly with Prime Minister Mia Amor-Motley and Attorney General Dale Marshall at Parliament yesterday on the eve of the International Day of Human Rights. The discussion focused on the mandate of the new office within the context of traditional and emerging human rights issues. Prime Minister Motley stressed the Human Rights Commission will operate independently, and she welcomed the Commissioner's role in helping to shape a national human rights framework, including protections against all forms of discrimination. Ms. Motley says while the Employment Rights Act already guards against discrimination in the workplace, Barbados now needs legislation to protect citizens in other spheres of life. She's invited Commissioner Eiffel to give special attention to that. Barbados has named its newest representatives to the CARICOM Youth Ambassador Program for the 2025 to 2027 period. 25-year-old Christopher Brathwaite and 18-year-old Janae Herbert will take up the posts of CARICOM Youth Ambassadors, while 19-year-old Kalan Aline and 28-year-old Jennifer Burrows will serve as alternates. They were presented this morning by Ministry of Youth, Sports and Community Empowerment. Minister Charles Griffith says government fully supports the four as they become the voice for youth in Barbados and CARICOM.
What I'm saying to them is that there will be ambassadors not only for country but for self and for their peers. And I expect that during the next 2 years of their reign that we will see a number of initiatives that are coming from them, maybe projects that they figure can be shared or that the ministry can pilot that they find necessary to improve the lot of our young people on island. They themselves being youth, the young people will know exactly what it is required to move other young people forward.
Ms. Herbert, the female CARICOM Youth Ambassador, says she's excited and grateful for the honor, but fully aware of the responsibility ahead.
While this opportunity is indeed a privilege, I am totally cognizant that it is first and foremost a responsibility. As CARICOM Youth Ambassador, I am fully aware that the youth's problems are our priority. The ministry has put together a dynamic team, and I am confident that our strengths put together will be to the benefit of the youth, Barbados, CARICOM, and the world by extension.
Her male counterpart says he's committed to championing the interests of young people and pushing for a better deal for them.
Know that I see myself in all of you. In the young graduate, frustratedly searching for employment. In the young lady, rightly worried about harassment and gender-based violence. In the son who feels as though the only place in the world for him is on the block. And for the daughter who feels like she must choose between duty to family and to herself. I see myself in the young engaged couple, newly navigating adulthood, who simply want their own piece of the rock, and in every other young person who feels uncertain about tomorrow. And as I myself navigate this time in office, know that I hope that you all come to see a bit of yourselves in me. Know that I believe that we can secure a brighter future for all of us through targeted and strategic advocacy.
Deaths from intimate partner violence are trending downward. That's according to President of the Business and Professional Women's Club of Barbados, Marlene Hewitt. But she says family-related violence is one area that needs to be watched. She was speaking as a guest on TV8's Morning Barbados today, the last day of the observance of 16 days of activism against gender-based violence.
I think 2003 there were about 10 deaths, 2004 9 deaths, and now we're averaging maybe 3 deaths, and some years 1, and I think 2 years we had 0. Thanks to the police service, we got the statistics from them, so we are really pleased that after all the women's organizations, some men's organizations, individuals have been working on this for decades, we are now starting to see results. But family-related violence, we have to watch that. It seems to be slowly trending upwards. Brother against brother, father against son, things like that.
Meanwhile, also speaking on Morning Barbados, President of the Men's Empowerment Network, Fabian Sargent, says it's time to acknowledge that men can be victims of domestic violence. He says they are sometimes on the receiving end of intimate partner violence, but it's something that society does not seem to readily accept. And while Mr. Sargent gives kudos to women's organizations, he says more needs to be done for the men.
We had a woman convicted for murdering her boyfriend last week. I think it was a week before. So we are not paying attention to the violence being meted out against men. And I think that is where we need to also go, because while we try to empower men to mitigate or to reduce instances of violence against women, and we support that, we also, if you're talking about human rights and gender equality and all of these things, we have to acknowledge that men are also on the receiving end of violence. And as we celebrate the 16 days, there must be a considerable part in there to also acknowledge that women are also victims of violence.
The Alexandra School celebrated its annual speech day and prize-giving ceremony under the theme, A Tradition of Success, A Future of Excellence. From cultural performances to academic achievements and inspirational messages, the event highlighted the school's ongoing commitment to excellence, as we hear from Deanza Roberts.
The Alexandra School paused to celebrate its students, its legacy and its future, honoring outstanding academic, cultural and athletic accomplishments for the 2024-2025 academic year. Chairman of the board, Michael Watson, in his remarks, underscored the school's long-standing tradition of excellence.
I assure you, students, that as your parents most certainly are, we here at Alexandra are also equally filled with pride, excitement, and anticipation as we look forward to the next stage of your academic development, whether here at Alexandra or elsewhere.
The head boy and head girl presented a detailed report on the school's activities over the past year, followed by a spoken word performance from Joshua Carter. Principal David McCarthy reported on the achievements of the school as they continue to set the foundations for the future through the dedicated work, but he says there are still some concerns.
There is one thing that I need to comment on before I close, looking at the CXC results, and that is the continued phenomena of students not turning up for exams having been entered. And it's especially significant in CSEC, where we enter one number for the exam, but a lesser number turns up for the exam. And that continues to concern us. Some of it has to do with parents asking for their child to be withdrawn for the exam. But I think the majority of it happens where students take it upon themselves, in many cases unknown to their parents, and decide not to turn up.
Deputy Chief Education Officer, the Reverend Stephen Scott, speaking on behalf of Minister of Educational Transformation Chad Blackman, applauded the school for nurturing excellence.
I want to put it to you today that excellence in school is a shared experience, not one where you simply show up and regurgitate information, but one where you learn to think critically, engage actively, define problems, and create solutions. It is a team effort, a national effort, and a partnership that requires all of us. In fact, this is what the Oceania Hub is all about, as I look forward to all of you having your experience there.
After the official remarks, students were honored for their outstanding achievements, and with a proud legacy and a renewed push for excellence, Alexandra continues to shape students who excel both here at home and on the world stage. Deanza Roberts, CBC News.
Just a reminder, CBC NewsNight is spreading some Christmas cheer and we want you to be part of it. We're looking for the island's most beautifully decorated Christmas tree and it could be yours. So we're inviting you to send your best photo or video to christmas@cbc.bb. Your entries will be showcased right here on NewsNight and posted on our website, where viewers will get to choose the standout tree of the season. The person who has the photo or video with the most votes will take home a gift basket from Western Wholesale and earn the title of Barbados' best decorated Christmas tree for 2025. Now, entries close on December 26th, and we'll reveal the winner on December 28th. So don't wait. Send in those photos and videos early to boost your chances of winning. To cast your vote, visit our website, www.cbc.bb, and click on the CBC Christmas Joy link.
Sports Night is brought to you by Power In. Pause is power. And by Dasani. Live first, Dasani after.
Sports time now. Damien Best joins us live in studio with the details. Good evening, Damien.
Yeah, good evening to you, Lisa. Good evening to all viewers and listeners. Milo Lodge dethroned Queen's College to be crowned new champions of the BCA Barbados Public Workers Cooperative Credit Union Limited Schools Under-19 cricket competition. A 5-wicket haul from Shawniko Sargent helped Lodge to defeat QC by 99 runs in the final today at Kensington Oval. CBC's Anna Goodrich Boyce reports on the first innings.
The Lodge School sent into bat first, 2 slips and a gully. DeMarco Wiggins, the opener, on strike. This is a gentle push down to third man, quick outfield, and that's a boundary to start proceedings. His opening partner, Shadante Gittins, was playing nicely as well. Outside the off stump from Michael Ben, and that's a gorgeous shot, splitting the fielders at gully and point for more. Ben decided to go short this time, and Gittins cashed in, pulled away to the fence. That's 4 as well. Wiggins then played the shot of the morning. That is pure class. Maximum into the Greenwich and Haynes of Zachary Carrington. Lodge were building a solid foundation at this stage. Wiggins whipped out the broom. Lovely sweep shot behind backward square. But Wiggins went for one too many. Zari Carter gets the breakthrough for Queen's College. Wiggins gone for 33. Lodge 70 for 1. QC fans celebrating. Gittins didn't last much longer either. Carter again making Kensington Oval his own. There's the famous celebration once again. Party-like atmosphere. Gittins is out for 22. Malik Amy was the next batter in, and he was out quickly. They opted for a single. That's gone. Lodge 3 down. The wickets were coming fast. Shawniko Sargent looking to go over the top. Carrington takes the catch. 90 for 4 now, the score. Shem Sargent was the next batsman at the crease, and this was the shot of the innings. Innovation at its best. The cheerleaders on their feet. Sargent fell a few deliveries later. Oh, that's plump. See you later. Lodge losing their 5th wicket. That brought Jediah Jilts to the middle, and he wasted no time. Down the ground, that's 4. Jilts was a man on a mission. Not much power, but gets it to the fence. Another boundary. Jilts swiftly moved to 48, 2 away from a brilliant half-century. This was only 1, but they came back for 2. Heartbreak and agony. No words could describe this feeling. Lodge eventually got up to 184 for 8. Anmar Goodrich Boyce, CBC Sports.
Yeah, thanks, Anmar. In reply, QC were bundled out for 85 of 27.2 overs. Sargent was in the mix once again, taking 5 for 26.
Barbados' tourism sector is showing strong momentum, recording increases in both long-stay visitors and cruise arrivals between January and September. And while it's good news for hoteliers, the Barbados Hotel and Tourism Association says there are some issues that need to be addressed, including the expiration of duty-free concessions for hotels and the delay in including the car rental sector into the Tourism Development Act. These were among matters raised by BHTA Chairman Javon Griffith in his address to the association's 4th quarterly meeting at the Sandals Resort today. Trevor Thorpe reports.
Speaking under the theme, One Caribbean, Driving Growth Through Unity and Purpose, BHTA Chairman Javon Griffith said airlift capacity continues to expand with growing interest from the Latin American market. He told hotel and industry stakeholders that airlift remains the oxygen of tourism, signaling confidence and renewed momentum. Griffith also said that Barbados is entering one of its most significant hotel development cycles ever. Several major projects across the island are progressing well and are expected to be completed by July 2026. But Griffith also flagged outstanding concerns, including the expiration of duty-free concessions for hotels.
Given that many of these approvals were granted as far back as 2010, we now have confirmed cases where this 15-year window has expired. This presents a major challenge for the sector, and we are deeply engaged in discussions with the relevant ministries to determine the way forward.
The BHCA chairman also raised issues surrounding delays in bringing the car rental sector under the Tourism Development Act.
The implementation of the new car rental levy must be accompanied by the necessary legislative reform. Our car rental firms, key contributors of foreign exchange and indispensable to our visitor experience, are currently collecting this levy on behalf of government, yet they remain outside of the TDA framework. This is untenable. Migration into the TDA must occur urgently to support fleet renewal, the adoption of greener vehicles, and the continued viability of the sector. This issue is now of the utmost importance, and the BHCA will be engaging the Ministry of Finance and Economic Affairs in the coming days to secure an update on the progress of this transition.
Looking ahead, the BHCA chairman said that although the global outlook for 2026 remains uneven, medium-term prospects are positive. He noted that Destination Barbados continues to demonstrate resilience, adaptability, and strong market appeal. Trevor Thorpe for the Business Report.
Sports Night is brought to you by Power In, Pause is Power, and by Dasani. Live first, Dasani after.
Damien is back with the second half in sports now. So over to you, Damien.
Yeah, thanks so much, Lisa. Well, the finals of the secondary school's badminton competition was contested recently at the Wildy Gym. Here's a look at the girls and boys matchups. Who's up for some badminton? Girls under 19 showdown with Sahara Brathwaite in the white versus Zion Trotman of Harrison College. Halfway through the first game, good rally, drive from Trotman to end it. Brathwaite forced to be in a defensive posture for an extended period. The question is, could she transition to attack? Well, only briefly, as Trotman was equal to the task, picks out the corner pocket. However, a few mistakes by Trotman let Brathwaite back into the contest, brings her opponent forward, and she cannot extend enough to keep the play going. This game was actually locked at 21 points apiece, as Brathwaite mixed the speed of her shots. The drives keeping Trotman on her toes. Case in point, the rules say you have to win by 2 clear points, and Trotman dug deep to deliver the goods, closing out the first game 22-20 with a nice goal drop shot, and eventually she would go on to claim the second as well at 21-17. This is some boys action now. Nathan King of the law school in the white versus Zavi Haynes of Combermere. Haynes offered up an early Christmas present and says thank you so much. King not about to let Haynes dictate proceedings. Turns up the heat with some vicious returns. He leads 11-7. A real spring in his step now, King. Overhead smash is perfection. At 16-9, King would not let his hard work go to waste. Drawing first blood, 21-11. Second game change of ends. King up 15-5. He would add 2 more points. Haynes looking devoid of answers. The ease of King's approach to the game was most refreshing. Haynes going down in slow motion. No sign of a comeback then, as Nathan King of the law school dispatches Zavi Haynes of Combermere 21-11, 21-7. Well, the traveling Queen's College team defeated hosts Harrison College in the latest matchup of the secondary school girls basketball competition. QC dominated from start to finish. Let's take a look. Queen's College in red and white visiting Harrison College. Solange Holford misses her effort, but Abigail Moore is there to clean up 2 of her team high 21 points. 14-8 the first half score. Advantage to the girls from Husbands, and Holford with a beautiful mid-range jumper. HC's offense stifled for a prolonged period until Zen Thomas breaks the shackles, rattles it in, 14 points in the two. Let's go to the second half, change of ends. The smallest player on the court, Shante Arthur, with the runner, collects two. But this was as lopsided as they come. Dare Ford Haynes, all access pass, bucket, and the foul. QC added 41 points in the second half, really showcasing their talents at both ends of the court. In the final analysis, Queens College crushing Harrison College by a whopping 38-point margin, 55-17. Finally, primary school girls had some fun in the sun yesterday for the 2025 BFA Primary School Girls Football Festival. A number of schools attended the event at the BFA Technical Center in Wilde. The developmental festival is to encourage girls to play football and to ultimately increase the participation of girls island-wide. In some of the results, Charles F. Broome B team drew 0-0 with St. Jude's, while Wills and St. Gabriel's also played out a 0-0 draw.
And that's news tonight. Remember, you can follow CBC on our WhatsApp channels and visit our website at www.cbc.bb to watch TV8 live. Thank you so much for tuning in. Good night.